Alright everybody, in this video I'm going to be showing you the transfer between my original PC to my new PC, the conjoined parts, and then in the very end, redoing the thermal paste on the old PC because it was stock from a pre-build. So I hope y'all enjoy. M.2, M.2, that's that 500 gig, this is the old motherboard. I've removed the top two fans that are going to be going back in this case. Currently removing these three fans because this is where the AIO is going to go. And I have officially removed the motherboard that's going back in that case. Making this for YouTube instead of streaming on Twitch. We'll be removing the power supply to redo cable management completely here in a minute. And that way it's a fresh start. So I've made it this far. The motherboard's out, power supply's out, for new cable management. Gonna put the AIO in and everything else. There's the cables, power supply, AIO, of course. GPU for the main one, GPU and RAM for the old one, RAM for the new one, PCI board for the new one, old motherboard, some fans, new motherboard. And then I got PC parts just laying around right now. So currently got the motherboard put back in. I'll show you all that in a second. Got the RGB controller for those four fans. Because they're going back in this case. And then we're doing good so far. Yeah. Everything that's going to currently upgrade that PC. That motherboard and that CPU are going to go back in that PC. Ignore the floor. But that will be being replaced later on. Motherboard power hooked up, USB 3.0 hooked up. Now to hook up this CPU up here. Cable management is done. Now I'm just going to add the RAM, the graphics card, and I should be able to boot it up. So the iBuyPower is back, and it is alive. Now time for all the new parts in the new case, which is basically a whole nother PC now. All the upgrades I bought for the iBuyPower originally, that PCI board, the RAM, the graphics card, the power supply. Now I'm adding an AIO and a new processor and a new motherboard. So, not even gonna cap. I open up my new processor, right? And the way they get it packaged is just this man just sits in here like sideways. Like, what's the point of this big ass box then? Ah, it finished writing. AIO is installed. Now to do cable management. Alright, so the AIO is installed. I know people are going to say shit about that, but I'll remove that before I power it on. Now time for cable management. I mean, when you add more RGB, what do you expect, It looks a little better than it used to, other than this big ass control module. Gonna be honest, this is the most nerve-wracking part of this whole thing. And it looks like we have boot. Whoa. Clearly I did everything right. Nice. Now time to add Windows and fully boot it up. Clearly I did everything right. Nice. Now time to add Windows and fully boot it up. So, currently having to use the old keyboard and mouse until I get the switcher. Then I'll just be using this keyboard and that mouse until I get a new mouse, and then those two get put up. But completely new PC. Original PC. Mint. So if anybody was wondering, I'm running an AMD Ryzen 7 5800X, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and I have 3 terabytes of storage. One is a Western Digital M.2 chip, and the other is a 1 terabyte Samsung 980 EVO. Or is it 970? It's 870, sorry. Ignore me. I'm tired. 1 terabyte as well. So I am running 2 terabytes currently. And we'll be adding a 2 terabyte Samsung 970 M.2 chip soon, hopefully. Alright, everything's updated. or updating at least. Again, turned this one off because meh, I don't need it right now. I don't have the switcher or nothing. This is the main PC. That's going to be the streaming PC. But I got to get everything rearranged tomorrow. Well, she's done. She looking pretty now. Alright, everybody. Just doing a little bit of thermal paste change. I've already, of course, unplugged all the power, grounded myself out. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the CPU fan. And I'm recording. And disconnect all of these screws, because the thermal paste that's on this one is still the stock from iBuyPower. And it figures. This just sucks. Try to get all this off. Goodness. These springs that are holding it on are definitely making it difficult. But all of this was just machine screwed in. Alright, that one's off. That one's off. That one's off. There is the heatsink and fan off. I wish I had another fan to throw on here instead of this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this thermal paste off. I'm actually gonna go ahead and remove this right here, so I can take the i5 out and wipe it down as well. Just gonna use a rag I got laying around. Alright, as y'all can see right here, the Intel Core i5 is completely wiped off. There's no more thermal paste on there. Try to see if it'll zoom in. I'm gonna go ahead and put this right back in there just how I found it. Corner to corner, matching up just like so. This one apparently has the pins all up it. So you just set it down in there, lock it back into place. Alright, that's locked back into place now. Let's wipe the rest of this off. It honestly looks like they had some buildup of it on the sides, like maybe from the manufacturing company just got too much, which doesn't really hurt but can also hurt at the same time. As y'all can see, it's now clean. I'll go ahead and grab my thermal paste from over here. Using Corsair, it's TM30. I just did this on my motherboard, my new one, for the first time yesterday. So it says put about a rice size on there, so about yay much. Not too much, not too little. And you're gonna wanna put this right back on there. Lining up all the holes. Now I'm just gonna screw it back in and I'll be done. So I had to make a short little clip of it. This is the back piece, you know, of course it's supposed to sit here. They didn't even have the little stickies peeled, so it just fell right off. These stickies have just been in there. Like, come on. I mean, I know it's an iBuyPower. I know it's cheap. I know it's pre-built, but like, they could have done a little better than that.